Listen, you guys have been expecting this. This is something that you wanted out of this course, which is boat building. Today we have Steve Gronka. He's going to be basically your lead instructor or teacher for this last quarter. I'm going to assist him. And we're all going to learn about building boats. Some of the things that you're going to be graded on during this: teamwork, participation, and the project completion, which is building a boat. Also, how to safely use tools, and a lot of other things that you may have not thought of. Like, for instance, simple measuring and mathematics that have to do with boat building. And in your life that you'll have to use some of the things that you actually learn in school that you maybe didn't think you would need. Because one of the other things you're going to do is you're going to write a letter to the mayor about using the boat ramp, correct?
Yes.
And also, you're going to write sort of a challenge letter to another high school, local high school in Philadelphia, because you're going to race them in your boats. You're going to race them in your boats, and you guys are going to come out victorious, right? Okay. Say again? You are, basically it's a rowboat, correct?
Yeah, you can do anything with the boat. You can row it, paddle it, sail it, put an outboard on it. We had kids that put a diesel engine in a boat and have a...
These boats are amazing.
Yeah.
Some of the boats, you think you've seen them before, they're about 42 inches wide and 10 feet long. You can put a motor on it or in it, and you can use paddles, or you can actually install a sail as well. And Mr. Gronka is going to tell you all about this stuff, and I expect you to give him the same respect you give me, and be attentive. And again, it's about teamwork and productivity, which has to do with class participation. You have to participate. Are we good? Good with this? All right? Mr. Gronka?
All right. Okay, Chief, how about if you grab a little bit of footage on this too?
Why don't you give him a nice
warm
Chief welcome?
Was formerly a video guy for the Coast Guard. Multi-talented, like cross-trainer right there. Does everything, man for all seasons and all reasons. All right, guys, what we're going to do is key on building these boats. They're 10 feet long, 42 inches wide. You can paddle it, row it, sail it, put an outboard on it, put a diesel engine in it or a gasoline engine in it. So you can use any kind of propulsion on the boat that you can think of. We designed the boat to be a broad, flat bottom boat, so it's ultimately stable. You can jump up in the boat anywhere and the boat barely moves. You have to turn the boat, try to turn the boat over to get it over. It will not turn over unless you try to make it go over. So with this kind of a boat, you can concentrate on what you're doing on the boat instead of whether or not the boat's going to flip over. Which, believe me, we've been doing these projects since 1989, and when you build a boat that's tippy, that's all people think about is whether or not you're going to tip over. So we don't want you to worry about tipping over. Just what's going to happen with how you're functioning on the boat. That's what we want you to concentrate on. Now, the ideal thing about the boat is that this boat, as simple as it is, the procedures that we use on this boat are the same procedures that they use to build yachts, up to 70 feet long. So even though our boats are only going to be 10 feet long, same way you go about building a boat up to 70 feet long. So with these skills that you learn here, you could go into the marine industry, you could go into the construction industry, you could go into design and engineering, in literally any kind of industry, because the same sorts of problems that we're going to deal with in building these little boats, same kind of things that you basically fundamentally have to deal with, no matter what type of things you're dealing with. You know, whether it's machinery for manufacturing, whether it's building cars. I was executive in the car industry for a while with Chrysler. I can tell you firsthand that things that we're going to learn on doing these little boats are the same sorts of things that you would use in not only manufacturing the cars, but also in management and understanding how things go together. So don't look at the boat in terms of, okay, well, we're just going to build a boat and that's it, we'll go out and paddle and have a little race at the end and it's all over. No, this is the kind of thing that can really help you with things that you're going to go through or deal with throughout your whole life. So also, just for practical things, we've had, today we have about 15 minutes left. All right, how many people do we have? There's like 3, 6, 8, 11. Okay. All right, now, what I want to do is I want everybody to introduce themselves to me so I know a little bit about you, and then I can put that in my mental computer. And as we go along, I'll try to take that into consideration as we're doing different things. And then I'll go a little bit more about my background real quick. I have a master's in business administration as a corporate executive at Chrysler and also with Viking Yacht Company. Viking's a company, one of the largest production boat yacht manufacturers in the world, building boats that are up to about 70 feet long. And then I've had, since 1989, all my experience in helping kids learn how to build boats. So I took the experience that I had in the corporate world and brought it into a world where I'm dealing with people like you, because I think that it's more important to help people like you than it is to have yet another corporate executive around that thinks he knows how to do everything in the whole world. So the other thing is we have, with my experience, a fairly good background in television and film production. I've worked on 3 different feature films. Most of them are names that you would never heard of, so don't ask me the names on them because it won't mean anything. But have traveled around the world for the International Electronics and Electrical Engineers because they wanted to produce a TV series on more efficient ways to generate electricity. So we have the KVN C-Action News team, which was hired to go and videotape all these different ways of producing electricity. So I went worldwide for them. We're all over Europe. We did have a different guy that shot our footage in China, and we had some other people down in South America shooting footage down there. So we have a very solid background in television and film production. One of the board members of the foundation that C+ Kids is a part of, which is the Advance America Foundation and Education Foundation, was one of the first producers of network sports. So Pat Corbett is his name, and he's won over 22 Emmys and has a very tremendous background in television and film production. In fact, if any of you guys sci-fi fanatics, nobody here really into science fiction? All right. Well, anyway, Pat produced a movie a few years back called Megalodon. It's about giant prehistoric sharks that grew to be like 100 feet long, something like that. And that shows regularly on the Sci-Fi Channel. So anyway, that's a little bit of background. Now, at Delaware, as an advisor to all the students in the business school, which was probably about 2,000 students, but primarily focused on the freshmen that were there. There's a lot of people that don't know exactly what they want to do when they hit college, and sometimes by the end of college they still don't know what they want to do. It's like when I got my degree in biology with a concentration in chemistry, and I'm showing kids how to build boats. But here's the thing. The academic training is not about being here just to memorize things just for the sake of memorization. Memorizing helps you to train your brain. All right, we're going to talk about education concept tomorrow, which was developed by Advance America Foundation, and you'll learn more about what we're talking about right now. So don't worry about not knowing what you want to do yet. It can come to you, it can change even after you think you know. You might decide something different, and then you might get whatever it is you want to do for a few years after college, and then totally switch after that. So it's all where things fit for you. It's all about it. As you go along, you learn things. All right, next. All right. So it sounds to me like the parents out there got the word on this school and they're telling their kids, hey, this is the right place to be. Well, that's a good thing. Seems to be a little bit of a consensus from the adult side of what's happening here. Why to come to Maritime, right? I think. Our foundation, our parent organization, Advance America, did a fairly long study on education in America and what's going on here and why things are the way they are. And what we found on average is that faculty normally emphasize to their kids that they want to get the best career that they can, and that usually means that they're telling them you want to be a corporate executive, a doctor, or a lawyer. All right, now there's a couple problems with that. One is versus the overall population of people that is at an age where they can be in a job, what percentage of that population do you think